Welcome back everyone to more Motorsport Manager Online, and I'm going to start the video with an apology. Obviously this is not normally where we start our videos, and the reason this is happening right now is because unfortunately there was an issue. I've actually recorded a couple of races so far with you guys, but did not realize until this race was starting that there was an issue that while the recording was still happening, the quality and the smoothness was not where I need it to be in order to feel comfortable releasing it on the channel. So I decided to stop that and start fresh with a brand new recording. Again, this is certainly not the way that I wanted to start the video, but we're going to go with this and hopefully we won't have any further issues. So like I said, we've already run 2 races so far since we were last together, and they've went okay. The first race went just fine. We finished 1 and 2, so that was awesome. But in this particular the race right before this one, we did not have so much luck. In fact, we ran out of reliability on Claudia and had to retire her car, so that hurt us quite a bit. So the good news is, if we do well in today's race, then we're going to have an opportunity to get our next promotion. And I certainly wanted to bring you guys along for the promotion if at all possible. Here at the end of this race, I really want to get a 1-2 finish here. Are we going to be able to attack and get it? We are not quite going to make it. So we are on the last lap. Let's back off a little bit. Either we're going to get there or we're not. So we've run out of tires with Claudia, but at this point I'm just sort of taking my medicine, which is bad to say sometimes, but that's just kind of where we are. She is still looking very much in control. You can see there was no danger of her really losing first place, which is why I wasn't too terribly worried about it. So we do eventually get our 1-2 finish. So that's going to give us a total of 45 points, which is always nice, even though we didn't need anywhere near all of that for our next promotion. So this has been a bit of a mess. So again, I apologize for that. Certainly not what I was wanting, but sometimes you just got to take your medicine and move on. So we get our 1-2 finish. Let's move forward, see what kind of money we get. Are you serious? 850 grand? Yikes. Okay, well, I'm certainly on board for that. I assume that's because of our promotion. Either way, I'll take it. I'm just going to assume that's what it's from, and it's probably something I missed on a previous screen that would indicate that, but 925,000. So we pick up quite a bit of XP for both of our drivers, and there's our promotion banner. Let's go ahead and move our way forward. Now we've started picking up some gears as well as our copper wire. So hopefully that will come in very useful during our next promotion. Let's go ahead and continue on here. Let's see, we've moved up into the 7,400s, at least for the time being, and that will be good for a $2.6 million bonus. And you can see we're a little bit over a day, almost a day and a half before that actually pays out. So we're going to try to move up as much as we can during this remaining time. All right, so all of that out of the way. Now let's see, do we get to the promotion next, or do we get to fixing a part? I'm actually not sure. I don't remember which one's going to come first. So let's find out. All right, anyone heard of Nipit Gaming? Looks like they could be a big deal this season. Okay, well, we'll certainly take that. And there we go. So we'll do the promotion first. A-Class is complete. That's going to unlock 2 new drivers and 2 new strategies. Now, if the strategies continue to get better as they have to this point, then I can't wait to see what these strategies are. So now, Tier 2 is done. So we've completed that. We pick up our prize of 750K and 10 additional tokens. But I really want to see what kind of drivers we've got. So we pick up Connor Daly. Let's see. Did it not say 2 drivers? It did say 2 drivers. Okay, apparently it's only going to be 1 new driver. So Connor Daly, very nice there, an 80 overall. All right, so we pick up super attack and reliable. Oh, car reliability at 100%. Okay, now that is really good, especially for Claudia, who we've had some issues with reliability in the past. And as I mentioned, off camera, I actually just had an issue where I had to retire her car. So that could come into very handy in the next little bit. All right, so super attack, we'll have to take a look and see what that means, but I really want to see about Connor Daly. All right, so we didn't get 2 drivers, we got 1. So a little glitch there apparently. All right, let's go ahead and continue on, and let's see what we have coming up next. So we've got a mixed event where we can have a few different options. In fact, one of the options that you'll see here coming up is that we are now in a GT car. And the reason that happened, again, happened on camera, but it's not going to be, the footage is not going to be useful. But we earned, I believe it was 500 XP, and it automatically unlocked it and defaulted to that. So I've just basically left it there for right now. So we want to go ahead and join in on this. So let's see what's different here. So points only to the top 15. Okay, so no refueling, no safety car, standard qualifying, and we get 3 compounds of tire. We've been using 2 here to this point, so we're going to get an extra compound. Again, remember that the wet weather compounds of intermediate and full wets do not count toward this number. So let's go ahead and join in here. All right, so the game is going to catch up. Here we go. So here is our new GT car, and of course, every time we do a promotion, we can always swap this back to our stock car, but I kind of like this. So I think I'll keep it around at least for a little while. We've got only 1 livery, which is what you see on the screen. But like I said, we might move back and forth between these 2 as time goes on. All right, so now we are in the G class. So am I to assume that we're going to have to continue working our way up through the A class before we can get another promotion? It sounds like it. All right, so as we take a look at our car, now you can see we've got our gearbox in here. Level 1, which I'm sure is not going to do us any favors. In fact, as you look at the performance, you can see we are less than half right now. So that is certainly not good. All right, so we lost 3 there, 2 there. So I think, let's see, what do I want to do? For right now, I guess the best opportunity here is going to be to fix the performance or the reliability here. Let's see. Actually, I think I want to fix reliability just to make sure we don't have any issues. We could have also done performance, and I would have been very happy with that as well. But reliability has become more and more of an issue the further along we've gotten. So I want to make sure we've got that taken care of. And of course, we're certainly going to hope to have some new parts and pieces coming along very soon. Oh, we've got a new powertrain, Kitano. Okay. Not sure what we can do with that just yet, if that's something we can upgrade. We do not want a promotional offer. Thank you very much for that, but we'll pass. Let's see, what do we have? Sponsors, as always, as I've mentioned to you guys, what I try to do, since sometimes it can be a day or 2 in between any recordings for me, I try to come in and at least get our sponsor money on a fairly regular basis, at least 2-3 times, sometimes more during the day, and also pick up the free money as much as possible. So that's kind of what I try to do in between recordings. As time goes on, I may have to start running a few races just to keep things moving along with the leaderboard, because what will naturally happen is if we go a few days without racing, we'll fall down the leaderboard, or at least have an opportunity to do so. So we'll adjust this as time goes on to try to keep things moving along at a brisk pace and not get too bogged down at any particular tier or class for a long period of time. So it looks like here we're going to need 115 points before we can move along. And my guess is we're going to struggle a little bit until we get some new parts, just based on what I'm seeing with our car performance here. This is quite a bit that we've got to make up. So let's just go ahead and move things along with our parts. Now, the first thing I want to get a grip with is, let's just see. Okay, there you have it. We don't have any of the sheet metal, so we can't upgrade there. Yikes. Okay, we need some sheet metal. When did we use the sheet metal? I don't remember using any recently, so okay. So now we need more sheet metal here for the suspension as well. So we're not doing ourselves any favor there. What about the gearbox? Can we get off of the level 1? And yes. Can we do it? Yes. In fact, we can get all the way up to a level 3. And definitely we want to do that. In fact, what we need at this point is some more sheet metal. So I'm going to remind myself to check on that when we get back out to the home screen. It may be where we can use either some money or some tokens to pick up some additional amounts of that. And if so, then I would definitely prefer to do that. So let's go ahead and build. So it's only going to cost us $75K and 10 staff. So we're going to want to do that immediately, because that is going to be a huge performance boost. You see, we go from 300 to 380 with that. So what do we actually need from this? We need an additional 5 there and probably another 10, if not 15, to move up another level, if we indeed can. I'm not sure if maybe level 7 is the max there. Let's see what we get here. So 4. Okay, so still 5 there. So we might want to pick up really as much as we possibly can. All right, so Formula E availability, $11, which seems a bit pricey just for the Formula E, but developers have to eat too, so I can't really begrudge them that particular offer. All right, so let's just scroll down a little bit and see what we get. We're not looking at really purchasing anything other than, here we go, materials. So we can pick up some aluminum. Okay, we don't need electronics yet. I'm guessing that'll probably come in with the engine whenever that comes about. So aluminum is, right now it says 50% off, and we only get 2. Wow. Okay, we needed a lot more than 2. What about anything else? So we don't have an option to really use money for this. So let's go ahead and pick up. Okay, so it's going to make me do it multiple times. Okay, so be it. And, oh, that's all we can do? Oh, that is no good at all. So if I click on this again, yeah, it's going to say materials refreshed in 12 hours. All right, so that's not even enough to get us anywhere. Yeah, that's no good. Let's go ahead and, can we do anything with that? I don't think so. Yeah, we've got enough otherwise to do that. So that is very unfortunate. And the last couple of races, I don't think we've picked up any additional of the sheet metal. So, so upgrades are going to be a little bit slower coming, it looks like, at this point. So we've got this build underway. It's going to be another 7 minutes, but I'll tell you what, I want to get a feel for where we are based on our current level of car performance. We know we're going to have some increased performance coming along, but I really want to see what this is going to get us. You can see our quality is just okay. Our drivers are just okay. Let's see what we can do with that. We haven't really had to worry about this level of performance in some time, so let's go find out. All right, here we go. After a bit of a delay in getting all of the drivers at the track, we have just managed to get there. Let's go ahead and do, oh wow, we've got the medium tire. So we've got 8 laps. So what is this one? Well, we're going to have to do 1 stop either way. Plus we got our bonus, so that's really not that big of a decision for us to have to make. And what about Claudia? I think I'll still go with trying to get 2 laps there, and let's just make some pit stops with her and just see how this works if we work to our strategy. And then we'll see about the medium tire going forward, if that's something that we want to do. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's actually back down to conserve with Claudia. And I don't think this is really going to be a big deal either way. Yeah, really shouldn't be. We should be able to get 4 laps here for Santa Ana regardless. All right, so you can see Santa Ana is dead last right now. We'll see how things go Looks like most everybody is on the soft tire. Santa Ana is the only one on the hard tire. And we've got a couple of medium tires across the grid. We'll see what everybody does for strategy. We may see some more medium tires as time goes on. But really what we're going to be focused on right now is Claudia, because she's going to need the first pit stop. All right, so she's worked her way up to 9th position. And all of these cars are starting to look the same. So, yeah, we may have to move back to the stock car pretty quick just so that I can tell everything apart. All right, so let's go ahead. All right, yeah, next time by, we're going to go ahead and do the soft tires again. All right, so we're looking at 29%. Yeah, we're perfectly fine then to make this one final go. We're still going to have to make 2 pit stops, so that part is not going to change. But we can get a total of 3 laps. That is very good to know. And then for one of our stints, probably the final stint, we'll have to go ahead and push a little bit harder with her since we'll have some extra tire. So 3.3 seconds. All right, so we're going to continue on, try to get another 3-lap stint for her. Meanwhile, let's see, we're on lap 4 right now. So let's have her go ahead and push hard, and we're going to queue up that next pit stop, which should be her final pit stop. So again, at this particular point, normally we would probably want to be on the medium tire since I think it could last, let's go down to conserve a little bit. All right, so she falls down, back down to 14th. All right, so it looks like we've got enough reliability here. So I am very interested in trying to push if we can. All right, so Claudia comes by the pit lane. We're going to go ahead and queue up her final pit stop. And let's see, do we have enough for her to push? We do not. But neutral, we can go neutral with her on this final lap. And then what about the final 2 laps? Wow, we could almost get by with a full attack mode if we got enough reliability to make it happen. This may be an opportunity to go back and revisit her strategy and use the reliability strategy where she gets a little bit of repair work done for that. All right, so right now she has fallen back to 11th, and I'm not sure anybody ahead of her, at least immediately ahead of her, is going to be making another pit stop. Yikes. Okay, so let's have her go full attack mode and see if we can get by with that and if we can pick up anything. What about the engine? So minus 27. We might be able to get by with that. Okay, final lap. So we're going to leave that alone because our reliability is really going down very fast, and I don't want to push it any more than I feel comfortable right now. We're in the top 10 with both cars, or excuse me, top 15 with both cars. So as we try to finish up, these final corners, let's go ahead and get as much as we can. Okay, I'll take it up to 6th position. And then Santa Ana, 9th position. So a great final lap for us overall. We'll pick up some nice points. More than I thought we were going to have an opportunity to get. So we're seeing some new drivers here. Barnaby White apparently is a popular driver. Lucas Cole, okay. Finally, some drivers we haven't seen in quite a while. So we'll pick up 17 points. We need 115 for our next promotion. So that's going to take a little while for us to get there, which is perfectly fine with me. Total earnings, $225K. Now, as we move forward through these last few screens, we picked up some additional materials. We had a screen pop up, which is, I haven't really seen very much. A dilemma popped up. Saw those quite a bit on the PC version. Really haven't seen very much of those here in the online version, but we got some extra material. So we'll take a look at those whenever we get back to the main screen. But here we pick up our first electronics, which again, I'm guessing will be used for engine upgrades whenever we get to those. All right, so both drivers inside the top 10. Now we're moving up and getting some additional money. So now we're inside the top 5,000, which puts us at 2.73. So we want to continue our march as far up the leaderboards as we can get, which means running as many races as we can. So as we get ready to make our first repairs, we know we've got some race strategy available now that will add quite a bit of reliability to our cars. So that's something I got to think about. It's going to be hard for me to get rid of the extra second per lap increase in performance. So that is going to be very hard to get rid of, but something to think about as we move forward. All right, so Santa Ana, I'm not going to fix any of her performance because she'll have probably one more race on these parts before we'll be looking to do any upgrades if we've got enough components. Again, we picked up some extra components from a dilemma, but I'm not sure they're going to be enough for any upgrades. So we'll see how that goes. Of course, we know we'll be getting new gearboxes here shortly for both drivers within the next race or two. So it looks like, what do we want to fix? Really, I don't see a whole lot here. I think our best opportunity here is to fix the performance to get us back up to the full 150. I mean, we need all the performance we can get right now out of these cars. So let's go ahead and confirm that. And there you see, we've got a new part that is complete. Let's go ahead and see about upgrades. So we know we are maxed out now at level 3 on the gearbox. Let's go ahead and fit the gearbox we currently have. Let's see, I don't really want to switch the parts. The performance and reliability, yeah, let's leave those where they are. And let's select Claudia to receive the new part. So 928 performance for Santa Ana, 1023. Very nice improvement there for Claudia. So you can see that takes us to about the 2/3 mark, maybe a little bit more than that. So I like that. Let's go ahead and assign that. Picked up a little bit more copper wire. All right, now let's go to the build parts screen. We know we're going to go ahead and build another gearbox, no doubt about that. So let's go ahead and get that underway. A little bit of money, a little bit of staff, but otherwise not really that big of an issue for us. Let's come back to, let's see, the suspension. Looks like level 7 is the max. We don't have enough there for that. Let's come back over to the brakes. And do we have enough to upgrade? Yes, we do. So we have just enough here. Oh, actually, we can go all the way to level 11. That's huge. I did not expect, I was thinking it was going to take more parts than we had to get to a level 11. But since we can do it, by all means, let's do that. So we're going to go from level 9 to level 11. And yes, we definitely want to start building this. 20 staff, 125K. I'm perfectly fine with that. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue on with that. So that's going to be 10 minutes here for the gearbox, 20 minutes for the brakes. That's perfectly fine. I've got no issue with that. We've got driver upgrades to take care of. Oh, we just missed one with Claudia. So let's take Santa Ana up to a level 10. 414K, which is going to be well worth it. So again, as we move through here, you get an opportunity to see some of the things that I had recorded earlier, but unfortunately that footage will not be usable. So what I'm working on with Santa Ana is her smoothness. So her race pace is amazing. She's at a 95 on race pace. So the smoother we can get her, that's just going to be even better. It's getting to the point where I'm going to have a hard time giving up either one of these drivers. Regardless of what their overall says, I mean, both of these drivers are such great drivers at this point. You can see the championship average is at 69, and we're a little bit above that with Claudia, a little bit below that with Santa Ana, but I believe overall we're in great shape. So another thing I want to point out from the footage we will not get to use is you notice that we have 13 races remaining with Claudia. So her contract expired, and so what ended up happening is in the renewal period, I wanted to max out the available number of races, which was 15, and we probably overpaid a little bit for her, around 550, 560K for that. But money is not really the limiting factor right now, so I wanted to make sure that we got her for the next 15 races, so that's exactly what I did. So I spent a little bit of extra money to make that happen, and now you can see that we're going to have a contract renewal coming up with Santa Ana. So with that in mind, let's just come in and look at some new drivers. Well, here's some new drivers that we have now seen. Unfortunately, we unlocked a level 80, but you might notice you don't see him on here. Well, the reason is because he's not interested in racing with us right now. If we go under Show All, where is he? He's a 80 overall. Connor Daly, there he is. But he is not interested in driving for us. We have to stick with the ones that are interested. So Lucas Cole, let's just take a look. And overall, not bad. Not terribly smooth, but overall, pretty much everything is quite nice. Now, all stats and teammate stats, we get a +3 if they're the same nationality. That might be a little tough to pull off, but you never know. Barnaby White, oh, very smooth, nice race pace. Again, any of these drivers would be a really great upgrade when you start thinking about the upgrades you could do to them. For example, the first upgrade, you move the race pace up to a 76. The next one, you get over 80, and so on. So when you look at it from that perspective, things start to look really good. And of course, he's also really good on soft tires. So there is a lot of good information to be found. So some of these drivers you could hold on to for quite some time, as we've done already. All right, so we have now unlocked the engineer applicant pool. Okay, now refreshes every 12 hours. All right, we'll take that. So now we're done with the level 2 HQ upgrades. We need to move on to the level 3, which means, oops, come back to the main menu. We needed to come here. So for 200K, we're going to upgrade once again. That'll bring us down to 1.47. And there we go. So for the next 2 hours, it'll be working on that upgrade. There you can see some parts and pieces there. Okay, so everything appears to be where we want it. Another 10 minutes or so for that upgrade. So this is looking very good. I think what we're going to do is we're going to give this thing a few minutes, and we're just going to see how this works out, and we'll be back. All right, so enough time has passed that we've got our new gearbox that is up and ready to go, and I've decided that I don't want to wait for the new brake package. The reason is I want to see what happens when we run this next race with the cars that we currently have. So if we take a look at the individual cars, you can see we're at 1,023 on car number 1 for Claudia, and then 1,008 on car number 2 for Santa Ana. So we know we're getting a new brake package for one of the cars coming up very soon, and then of course we'll build a second pair of brakes for car number 2 as well. But before we get to that, I'm really interested in taking a look at this engine. So if we get 194 performance, now there's really nothing we can do here. I can't do, we could swap. Let's see what we've got. Okay, the Catano is now available, but what does that do for us? Do we pay money for that? All right, so it's not, the reliability is not there. The power is not there, but it gives us a little bit more performance. Okay, I think I'm happy with where we've been on engine. What really scares me is this reliability. I don't like that at all. So, I mean, obviously we could go and try this out on one of the cars instead of both, but at this point I don't really see that as enough of a deal to even try to make that swap. So we're going to keep the reliability as high as we can because we definitely are going to need that. So as we come back out to the home screen, you can see we're about to have one brake package done. And then that brings us over to the driver page. So you notice that Santa Ana has now reached the maximum level. So level 10 is as high as we can go. So this is as good as she's going to get. So that's going to leave us with some decisions to make after this next race when her contract expires. Do we keep her around for another, X amount of races, 10, 15, or maybe less? Or do we go ahead and pick up a new driver and start grooming them to make their way toward the max level? So some decisions to make here, but I certainly hate to see Santa Ana go since she's been with us since the very beginning. But at some point, it's going to have to happen. It's just a matter of when do we want to get there. Taking a look at Claudia real quick. She's at level 8, almost ready for level 9. So she's got another 12 points of improvement on her as well. So we're going to have to determine how long we're going to keep her. Now, for our purposes, I don't want to get rid of her anytime soon because she is performing great. We'll continue to pump up her qualifying to get her closer up to the front of the grid, but everything else about her is amazing right now. But we do have some decisions to make going forward. So we're going to go ahead and collect some money here. 260,000 plus a token. Now let's move over to the large sponsor offer. I'm beginning to see reason to use these from time to time, not all the time, but right now I'm going to take the money, 560,000. We've got 52 tokens right now, which is really good. And I really wish this store icon would quit flashing, given the indication that we can get this for free. You can see once you get in there, you do not have any amount of money for free unless you want to go the video. So for those of you wondering how that works, if we wanted to do the video route, then we could, but I am staying away from that at this current time. So just to give you an idea of why this keeps flashing at us, telling us, hey, you've got free money to pick up. All right, so here we are waiting for these brakes to be finished up. Now, I do not want to place these on the car if I can get by with it. Again, just for a little bit of a science experiment to see how much this improved performance really helps us on the track. All right, so we're going to let that get there. I want to build another set of brakes without installing. Can I do that? Can I click around it? I cannot. Oh, that is no good. And I want to start with the next build. But since I can't do that, all right, let's go ahead and finish this part by getting it fitted. Can I get out of this screen? No, I cannot. Well, that's just no good all around. So let's go ahead and get the increased performance. We go from 150 to 190. So let's go ahead and select our driver and assign that. So that's going to give us a couple more gears, which aren't really what we need right now. What we need right now is the sheet metal. So that brings us up to 1,063 on car 1 versus 1,008. So a sizable difference in performance. But most importantly, really, is we're getting very close to maximum upgrade. And of course, we already know what it is that we're lacking in order to get there. So now I think everything is all set. Let's head to the track. All right, so our next race will be at Ardennes. We got a longer pit lane, which means that the time off the track will be a little bit more. A slight chance of rain, about 22%, and we need to finish 8th or above. So let's go ahead and set up our normal strategy. And all right, not too bad overall. Not quite the qualifying power that I would prefer to see, but again, it's all part of the drill. So we got first 3 laps. We're not looking at really anything there. So the forecast is for at least the first stint. Looks to be pretty nice overall. So 13th and 19th. So yeah, we're not qualifying where we need to be, but we'll take care of that. I think our race pace should be pretty good, at least with Claudia at a minimum. All right, so we've got 8 laps. What are we going to be able to get to? Let's go ahead and conserve here to make sure that we can get, I think we can do a one-stopper with Claudia 4 laps and 4 laps. We're going to conserve for a little while with Santa Ana as well, just to see what we can get. And we'll check on Santa Ana again when we get about halfway, see where the tires are. As always, we can do the simple math from looking in the different screens, but I prefer just to go by what we see once we get to that point. So right now we're running 9th and dead last with Santa Ana. So maybe this is telling us something. Maybe we're finding out now that what we really should do is replace Santa Ana. Maybe. Especially since she is tapped out, and you can see she is not making any progress at all. We'll swap over to Claudia. So we're here on lap 2, and Claudia is doing quite well. She is in 8th, now moving up to 7th. Okay, so far so good. Oh wow, look at that. That was a huge move through that set of corners. Now we're up to 4th. All right, that is definitely what we want to see, especially when you're being very conservative. That's not exactly the kind of moves that you would call conservative. So now we're about 4.5 seconds out of the lead. But remember, Claudia's car is has quite a bit higher performance right now than does Santa Ana. So it's not exactly an apples to apples comparison. All right, oh wow, look at that. We had another car there, jumps through in that set of corners. All right, so lap 3, we're still looking at 40%, where 22% per lap. So here we come toward the start-finish line, and there we go. So 22% is really all we need to worry about. We'll go neutral for 27, and we're going to set up our next pit stop. I don't see any rain indicated anywhere on the screen. So here we are, lap 4. We're at 54%, 53% with Santa Ana, so it's going to be close. I'm not sure we're going to make it with Santa Ana, but it's close enough that at this point I'm planning on making an attempt at it anyway. Because I feel like if I do pit with her, there you go, about 3.2 seconds there. If I do pit with her, then I'm in a situation where she's going to fall all the way back to the back of the grid and likely outside the top 15, which would be the points paying position. So we're in a situation where it's almost just, oops, we got to go back to conserve. Almost totally forgot about that, and that would have ruined everything. Hopefully I didn't ruin everything with where we are now. It was only a portion of a lap that we did there, so we'll keep that in mind. Hopefully I didn't mess everything up, but yeah, Santa Ana is making this very difficult for me. At this point, yeah, it's going to be extremely close and looking less and less likely that it's going to work out with every lap that we run. All right, so in the meantime, we've got Claudia sitting up here in the lead. Certainly not where I expected her to be. If you look immediately behind her in second position, all right, we know another pit stop is happening there for sure. The hard tires, 7.5 seconds behind. They're not going to be stopping again. And we're going to see about Santa Ana. Can she make it, or does she have to limp it home completely out of tire? All right, so we got 2 laps remaining. And based on what I'm seeing here, we should be able to make it without another stop from Claudia. However, we're not going to make it. Yeah, it's just not going to happen. We're going to have to come in. Yikes. All right, not what I was hoping for. But let's go ahead and put on some soft tires and make the best of it with Santa Ana. So, in fact, Santa Ana might run out of tire before she gets back around to the pits. Either way, not really going to matter a whole lot. No, looks like she's probably going to make it before she runs completely out. All right, so final lap of the race. And we have a commanding lead. 13 seconds, basically, on second place. So this is telling me that Claudia is in great position as a driver in this particular series. She is certainly not overmatched to the point where we would need to start thinking about replacing her. All right, so let's go see what we can get with Santa Ana. And looks like we're in great shape with Santa Ana. So we've got maybe one more position we can pick up here. But the good thing is she's in the top 8. All right, so the race is now over with Claudia. Did we get that position? No, we did not. By a couple of tenths, we missed out, but not bad. We'll pick up a total of 33 points. Let's see where that puts us in the team standing. All right, so team standing, first position. I definitely like that. And of course, at this particular point, Santa Ana, the XP is meaningless to us since she cannot be upgraded any further. So from the finance side of things, we pick up $200K for the race purse and another $100K for the sponsor bonus. So that puts us up to a total of 50 points so far, and looks like a couple more races we could conceivably move up to the next division for our first promotion. But that's assuming that we do extremely well. So materials collected, we're going to pick up another electronics and some additional copper wire. What we really needed here, and I really wish there was a way to change it, is we needed some sheet metal. All right, let's move forward into there's and we've got an error. So I had a problem at the very beginning of this race where I signed up for the race, and then we had a situation where it told me it could not find enough players to run the race. So it asked me to restart, much like what it's doing here now. So that was no good. I restarted, tried to get back in, and we were able to run the race. But now it's showing restart once again. So I assume that means that our race didn't save. But I guess we'll have to wait and find out next time. So for now, that's going to do it for today. Thank you very much for joining me. And stay tuned for more Motorsport Manager Online.